Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. Hope you're well. We're having milder weather today, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you some jelly plate printing on the homemade gel plate. I've got a few supplies out in front of me. Besides the gel plate, I'm using this smooth multimedia paper, and I've just cut it down into half because that matches the size of my gel plate. And I have just masked off with this finer gauge, finer width masking tape. I've just masked off the sides there. It just gives you a bit of a crisp edge and it looks like a more completed piece. So that's worth doing to your paper. I've got a roller and some baby wipes for cleaning up. One of the key things with using any gel plate, whether it's a branded one or a homemade one, you cannot touch it with any metal spatulas. So if you're used to using these types of things, they will cut through the gel plate like butter. So plastic or timber, these are just a icy pole stick, not used, that you can buy these. This is the large wide one, and I use that for manipulating the paint around on the surface. And the colours I've got, I will list in the description for you. Mostly I use the Matisse structure paint, and I find for the gel plate printing, this can be a little bit of stiff. It's a very heavy bodied paint and it's a little bit stiff. So this is when I tend to use more either the Matisse Flow Night Blue or a JoSonjas, and the other one that's nice is the Atelier. If you can get that, that's an Australian product, I think, or available in Australia. I'm not sure how you'd go overseas, but you want something that's a very soft body, loose. This is quite a watery product, very much like the Flow. I have put some of the structure paint on the surface, and what I'll do is spray bottle some water on that to help loosen the texture of the paint. So enough of me rambling, let's turn the camera around and get stuck into some printing. So here's the setup, and you can see this Matisse structure paint is sitting up. See if I can zoom in. See how it's really holding its shape compared to this, and particularly this is the JoSonjas in moss green. See, and this is the fluid. See how open it is compared to the structure paints here. So zoom out for you so you can see a bit better. Here's my gel plate that I made in video that I will link here, and I've just got same piece of that paper that I cut. I've put a piece as a reference mark under the gel plate here, and I've put a line to give me a reference for a horizon line. So I've popped that in thirds using the concept of rule of thirds. So let's get printing. Would you give it a go? It's a different way to what you may have seen people use the gel plate, where it's very much based on rolling all of the paint out. But this is the way I've found that works for me. Yeah, I'm so happy with that. That's really nice. And so you can see now this border, it makes it like a complete painting rather than all those messy edges that we had. And I've also done some previously in a square format, pushing the horizon right up to the top there. And what I do then is I wrap them in, I get these little pockets that have a sticky edge, and I just put some scrap cardboard and mount them, and then I have these available when the studio is open. There's another one. Yeah, how you can really play around with it. The options are absolutely endless and it's so much fun. The probably main points I would say, as I said at the start, is having the right consistency of paint. A looser paint will lift off the gel plate much easier. This paper is 210 GSM, so it's quite a heavy paper as gel printing paper goes. It will come off really lovely and easily onto a very delicate paper like a tissue paper, deli paper, pattern papers, which I've shown in a previous vlog as well. No metal onto your plate, only using soft implements like the roller or the timber. When you're using the roller, the more pressure you put on, the more the paint will want to stick to the roller and not onto your gel plate. So you want a very, very light touch when you're rolling out. You may have also noticed that I was only pressing where I wanted the paint to pick up. When I put this pale, when I was working on this horizon and putting this pale line in, I only pressed the paper. Obviously the whole paper was touching a little bit, but I was only pressing here. I could have dried all of this off. You would have seen some, as I was putting it down, some of the paint that was on here was transferring onto the gel plate. I could have dried this off before I put other layers on. And you can also have some spare paper, like you've seen I was rolling the roller off to clean it on here. That can be used as a base layer for further prints or more collage paper creation and things. And anything, I was wiping the gel plate clean, but you can have other pieces of paper here where you're lifting that off that can also then go into the mix of other things that you're creating. You can see with the sky, I was fairly abstract with the paint, that how I laid the paint down, but just look at that sky is just so nice. And this little hill happened by accident where I had a bit too much paint on and it pushed up into there, but what a beautiful happy accident. There's just so much, and this reminds me almost of like a little creek running through here. And just putting that very light green, which is called yellow green in the JoSonjas paint, if that's picking that up. It just puts a highlight as if the sun is hitting a paddock there, and it helps push that dark. Darks will always recede and lights come forward. As you can see here, this white is really punching forward and this yellow green is pushing forward. And because that's forward, it's helping push those darks further back. So it pushes this as if this is a mountain range in the background, perhaps some trees. So the other reason why this is working is because of the color values, that if I was to turn this into black and white, I could see that I've got some nice darks playing around and I've got a lot of lights as well. So yeah, nice harmony of value there, or lights and darks. So there we go, that's how I use my gel plate. I hope it inspires you to know that just play around in your studio, and I just figured this out by trying to roll out paint, and again, like I said, because I was perhaps using the heavy bodied paint, it wasn't rolling on very well. I wasn't getting a nice coverage. I couldn't get it to work. It's like, so just work how you want to work in it, work what works for you. Yeah, it's a great joy to be able to get pieces that come together and suggest a landscape with just a few simple marks on the plate, and can push paint around and do wonderful magical things like these little hills. So I hope you're really inspired to get those gel plates out that you've made from the video that I showed you, which I'll link somewhere. Get making those gel plates. Now, after you've been using them, it's good to store them. I have some acetate sheet that I put on either side to help protect it, because they are quite sticky. That will get dust and all sorts of things stuck on it. And also it will end up becoming pitted. The surface will, no matter how gentle you are with using all the right implements, this will wear down, of course, because it's jelly, it's soft. So as I showed you in that how to make a jelly plate vlog, just cut it up and melt it down and remodel it, and you'll have another plate to go along with for more and more printing fun. Okay, that's it from me this week. Please like this video if you've liked it. It really helps support the channel, but it also helps guide me to find out what you're actually interested in. I have so much I want to share with you, and I really want you all to live a wonderful creative life, because a creative life is a blessed life. So your likes help guide me as to what I show you next, and comment away again with requests of anything you'd like to see. Okay, have a great week. See you next week. Bye.